Welcome to One More Game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. I'm your host, Matt Brandenberger, alongside my beautiful, long-haired bombshell of a wife.
You're ridiculous.
Abigail. Why do I feel really short right now? It's late.
Are you already slap happy?
No, I'm tired. It's Friday night. We just had a small group, our family night with our small group. Really nice time. I really enjoyed that, sitting on the back porch. Mm-hmm. It was a beautiful night here in the greater Fort Wayne area. We were actually up in Leo. But yeah, feeling good.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm tired. Ready for bed.
Ready for bed? You want to make this a quickie?
I do.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
We do have a lot to cover, though.
We do.
We're going to have to kind of stay at it. If I start babbling, you can kind of just
what do you want me to
elbow me.
Elbow you?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Can
maybe
I have a keyword.
Okay. Tell everybody what the keyword will be.
I don't know.
Okay. Let's see. What else did I want to say, though, about this week? It was good. Lots going on. We had kids camp. Try not to yawn. I'm going to keep track of how many times you yawned during this episode. Maybe that was even 2. We had our BCS, Black Hawk Christian School Kids Camp this week. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. You are getting into the real estate. You learned how to write an offer. Kind of this week.
I'd like to write some more, so let's go.
Let's go. Call us. That's really why we're doing this podcast at this point, is get Abby some business. So anywhere in Indiana, Abby has said, call her up. Yeah. Anything else you want to share about this week? I feel like it has been a good week. One of the things we did, and we're actually going to get into that right away, unless there's anything. I feel like we're missing something early on. Oh, I was going to talk about the set. This new set we have. Because
I rearranged.
Abby rearranged. Actually, it's a miracle that we've been kind of doing these from our house for the last 2 months, and it took you this long to rearrange, because usually it's like every other week I come home and there's a new piece of furniture or a couch has been moved. So you made it a whole couple months before we rearranged. So we're on the same couch, but it's in a different room.
I mean, I like to just keep you on your toes. Like, what's going to be different when you walk in the door? Mission
accomplished. So yeah, you're actually going to see in this next segment. So let's talk about that now.
So lack of bothers you. It doesn't bother regular people.
Regular people? Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Nobody cares.
In the next segment, we actually recorded it earlier this week because we didn't tell anybody about this, right? We did a news story. We were contacted by the head of the Fort Wayne Pickleball Association saying that the local sports guy, Zach Groff, I hope I'm saying Zach's name.
Groff?
Right? Groff?
Yeah.
TH, sorry.
Yeah.
Wanted to do a story about pickleball. And so Tim Heffron, who's the head of Fort Wayne Pickleball, suggested us. We got in touch with Zach. It kind of trying to find the right time to do it with our crazy schedules was a challenge, but we finally did it on Tuesday night. And part of that, Zach wanted to record us recording one of our podcasts, but we didn't want to do a whole episode and make him, stay for an hour or however long they all end up being. So we just did a little segment. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about that a little bit more, and you'll see us while we were actually being recorded by Zach for the news segment that's going to be airing very soon. So we will be right back after this with that segment, and we'll see you then.
Parents, your teen driver or soon-to-be driver looks to you for guidance on safe driving techniques.
Drive Alive is an organization dedicated to young driver safety. Visit our website at drivealiveindiana.org to view videos designed to facilitate conversations between parents and their teen drivers.
Topics include getting to know your vehicle, understanding car insurance, simple car maintenance, and what to do if you just had an accident.
Visit drivealiveindiana.org to learn more. All right, welcome back to One More Game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. So last week we kind of teased a segment that we were going to be doing because we had had somebody reach out to us and wanted to do a news story on our local news for pickleball. And so tonight we are actually, right now, if we turned the camera around, Zach is here and he is interviewing us. We just got done playing some pickleball. How did that go in our little skinny singles game?
I think you
I don't
won.
Remember. Oh, did I? Okay.
And I think I hurt myself again.
Oh, no.
But I think we'll be okay.
Okay. It was a close game. You were actually up.
I was up like 6-2.
Yeah. And then I turned it on for the camera. So.
I knew you would. I knew I'd lose.
That's not the mindset. We need to go back to our mindset episode. So yeah, we had a great time. We will make sure we put the link in the show notes
to the news story
when the news story airs here. It'll either be this week or maybe next, but we'll have that up soon.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do a little segment, and we're going to talk. Last week we talked about burnout a little bit.
You had played a lot of pickleball.
I had, and I wish I could say that I've slowed down.
You have
a little
not.
bit. I have. I took a day or two off. Maybe.
No, you didn't.
Didn't I? I didn't.
You did not.
No, I got my arm twisted into playing. You're exactly right.
You did.
So, but we wanted to talk this week about what keeps us going. What is it that keeps us going? And you had found kind of a good topic that kind of relates to this. So.
Yeah. What keeps... So this study was actually done on CrossFitters, the CrossFit box or whatever. And I've always felt, I think I've said this before, pickleball and CrossFit have, I think, a lot of similarities. So how do you know somebody does CrossFit?
They'll tell you.
Yes.
Don't worry.
They'll tell you.
Same with pickleball.
Right. How do you know somebody plays pickleball?
Don't worry. They'll tell you.
They'll tell you.
Yeah.
And so this study was done on what keeps athletes coming back to CrossFit.
Yep.
Okay, so there were 3 things, and I'm going to provide a bonus fourth.
Bonus fourth. Okay.
So the first one is intrinsic goals.
Okay.
And that encompassed learning a new skill or improving health.
Okay.
So, does that keep you coming back to pickleball?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Those are the big two, I think.
Those are the things. We even talked about that with Zach tonight.
Right.
That was one of the things that really kept us going. And it was like...
You could keep improving.
Keep improving. I still say that I feel like in another couple of years I'll be better than I am right now.
There, you have not peaked.
I hope not.
And we're in good health. I mean, it's kept us in shape.
Yeah, except when you tore your ACL. But other than that.
That's neither here nor there.
Right.
And then, so that's number 1, intrinsic goals. Number 2 is competence, which is... So in the CrossFit world, this is tracking your progress. So I don't know what that looks like in a CrossFit box, but I would say in the pickleball world, is it like...
Your duper rating?
Is it, duper rating? Is it, I can now dink longer. I am now the one who outlasts my opponent.
Right.
Or whatever. Something like that.
Yeah, so, some of the tangible stuff.
Can I win in a 4-5?
Yeah.
Versus last year, I was winning at 4-0.
Yeah, even going back to our buddy Alex Spancake with Pickle Mart, and you could even track some of your stats to see kind of your
progress. Or my third's dropping better.
Yeah,
absolutely. So this one, I don't know that this one applies to pickleball, but this is feeling of autonomy.
We'll make it work.
And this is offering choices. So apparently in a CrossFit box, when you have a workout, and I know what that is, they have workouts, you can modify those workouts based on your abilities, your age, your flexibility, your injury level, or whatever.
Here's how I would make that
How are you
fit.
doing this? Yeah.
I would say you've got different types of pickleball you can play, whether it's singles, mixed, men's, women's.
Yeah.
So there's different types.
There's different intensities on the day.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, even if you want to play just for fun. I mean, that's, you can play recreationally pickleball, you can play competitively. So I would say there's different types.
Yeah, you did that. Way to go. Yeah. My bonus one.
All right.
The feeling of community.
Yeah.
It is, CrossFit is a whole community, right?
100%. Yeah.
And I think that's very similar to pickleball. What keeps me going sometimes back to pickleball is my friends.
Yeah.
When I was out with injuries, I miss my friends a lot.
Yeah. As we were kind of talking and preparing both for the 21 Alive interview and then also talking about this podcast, we did talk about community a lot. And one thing that I hadn't really thought of before is we switched churches at the exact same time that we started pickleball, right?
Yep.
And if you had me right now write down a list of all the people that we have met through pickleball, I bet you that list is somewhere around 100 people, give or take. And
can you name 100 people at our church?
I don't know. Now our church is a little smaller.
It's a small church.
Right. But still, it's like Yeah, I mean, the community, I'm not putting pickleball above God.
Are you?
No, I'm not. Trust me. But I am saying that
Well, with our pickleball community more than once a week.
It's true.
To be fair.
That is true. And so, but the community piece is big.
It is.
And
It's
we've said
huge.
before, when you
It's
tore your
huge.
ACL, we had great support from our church and from our friends and from our family. But another piece of that we never would have had previously if you would have injured yourself playing, running.
I probably would have.
Which you would have eventually, was that community aspect.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. So good one.
Yeah,
I like
that
that.
was good, yeah.
All right. Good quick segment. We wanted to do that. We were really excited to do this. Again, we'll link it in the show notes for this piece of what we did with 21 Alive. Big thanks to Zach and the whole crew there. It was a lot of fun. And we love talking pickleball. We love spreading the word.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun. So we'll take a short break and we will be right back after this. Come join the fun at pickleballrocks.com, your trusted authority when it comes to all your pickleball needs. Apparel, paddles, bags, hats, you name it, you'll find it there. Family owned and operated for nearly 15 years.
Matt and I are growth pros for Pickleball Rocks, and for being a loyal listener of the One More Game podcast, we can offer you a 15% discount at checkout when you use the code MATB15. So head over to pickleballrocks.com and check it out. Let's play.
Welcome back to One More Game, presented by Hoosier Pickleball. So that was our story that we did, or the segment that we did for the story. And as of this recording, we are told that they're going to do like a feature story. I don't even understand.
I know. It's really funny.
Yeah. So
Like, they're going to promo this piece.
yeah. So Zach's putting together, he kind of wrote it up, showed it to his producer, and he emailed us yesterday saying his producer really liked it. Instead of just doing like a regular segment on it, he wanted to do kind of like a feature story. So they're going to
promo it for a couple days and then
Right.
the feature story. So that'll be really interesting.
Right. So when we drop this episode on Monday, it will not have aired yet.
No.
So
Is it supposed to be like Tuesday or Thursday?
right.
Or?
So we'll put it on social, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But then we'll also link the story in the show notes for
When we get it.
next episode.
Yeah.
But you will not see it in this episode. But a lot of fun. Thanks to Zach. Super nice guy. Would love to give him some pickleball lessons at some point. I think he was interested in pickleball. It was kind of fun.
Maybe.
He had a lot of good questions. So
Yeah.
I hope we don't look like idiots in it. I always
It's
feel
okay if we do.
Yeah. You were confident. You were like, yeah, it was great. I was like, I wish I would have said some different things.
We're very different people.
We are very different people. 37 episodes in, I'm sure our listeners would agree. All right. So, in this rest of this episode, because I do feel like it's kind of like chunked together.
Yeah,
We
and
had
that's okay.
our beginning, and then we
Yeah.
had the segment we just showed. And now in the rest of the episode, have a couple little parts that we're going to do. So this first part I'm calling news and views.
I like it because I think this is an important part because I think a lot of people want to talk about what's going on currently in pickleball.
Right. And sometimes because we have a little bit of a delay before we release our episodes, I feel like, man, by the time we release it, it's maybe not as
I
current.
mean, news lasts 15 seconds.
In this world, it sure
Right.
does.
And so,
So,
and as we've said before, we're just so busy. It's hard
Yeah.
to keep up with the news. My head is spinning all the time, so
Yeah.
I don't have much time to absorb
right.
lots of news.
And sometimes I feel, honestly, if I'm being totally honest and transparent for even our viewers or listeners, is like we're a pickleball podcast, but we're not like consuming all things pickleball
I'm
all
not,
the time.
I don't
mean,
know what's going on.
pickleball is already a pretty big part of our lives. The times that we do have for, a little bit of downtime, I'm not watching and reading a ton about pickleball. And so, like, we'll hear a lot of
It's a
stuff.
big admission.
Yes, it is. So maybe
I have gotten into a couple pickleball podcasts, but I can't remember the last time I listened to them simply because
now you're consumed with real estate podcasts.
I'm listening to real estate podcasts.
Yeah.
So
So, in
I have
all honesty,
kind of fallen off
yeah.
that wagon a little bit.
However, this week, as my job has kind of transitioned a little bit, and now I am...
Which that will be a story for another day.
Yes, for sure. But I'm now doing mindless work for many hours a day
Right.
that allows me to listen
Right,
to podcasts.
right.
Because when you're sitting there scrubbing a computer with a wet wipe, over and over. That doesn't take a whole lot of focus.
You did not listen to the real estate podcast I sent you.
Right, I did not. I did listen to lots of pickleball podcasts.
That's good too. I'm glad
it was good.
Because you are now going to inform us.
I'm going to inform you, and just some random takeaways too. Like, not all of this is news. That's why it's news and
views.
News and views. Here's number one. Okay, it's a compliment for you. You're an awesome wife. And I think you are a great podcast co-host. Okay? Now, I'm going to throw a little shade out there. Watch out. We're going to get a little controversial.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Listen, we need controversy.
Your boy, who you love, and I have a love-hate relationship with him, because I do have a bit of a man crush on him, but I do feel like your real crush on him is a little excessive at times. But Tyson McGuffin's podcast. Now,
it's really not a...
Right. You just wish I had neck tattoos and dirty hair. That's really all it is.
That's really all it is.
I can do that. I did not like when I grew my hair out, though, and you would like me to have a mullet. It's not happening. Anyways, Tyson's podcast, I do listen to quite a bit. And we know Tyson's a confident guy. It's one of the things I actually kind of like about him. It's his fire and whatever. But he has his wife on the pod sometimes now, and I'm sorry, I don't even know her name. She's not a great addition.
She doesn't need a name.
She doesn't. And she has some other assets.
She has two.
That's what you said. Those aren't my words.
Those are mine.
We all have our gifts.
I am on the record as saying she has two assets.
Oh gosh. I hope of all of the things in our podcast that doesn't go viral. Don't put that on the little reels. That's only for our real hardcore listeners who are listening to this now. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like things you add value, and I think I do value what you have to say. I don't know. They may have a great relationship. It doesn't sound to me like Tyson's.
You said that he would even shush her.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it shushing.
Okay, but he would
He's not doing one of these.
Oh boy.
Your favorite move? Shh. No, he doesn't do that. But I did feel like a couple times he was totally discounting what she said. And maybe even had somewhat of a valid opinion, and it was kind of
he's you're not here for the opinions.
He does.
I did not bring you on the show for your opinions.
I
brought you here for two reasons.
I was listening, so I didn't even get to enjoy any of those opinions
of those
or
reasons.
assets. Yeah. All right, let's move on to number 2 before
we're spiraling.
We get in trouble. Some podcasters, I feel like, and again, I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll name names.
Name names.
Yeah, James Ignatowicz.
I don't know. Who cares?
We should definitely know his name. I can't pronounce it.
No, we know it. We just
right.
can't acknowledge. Acknowledge.
But I'm going to say, I was listening to his podcast and I'm like, holy cow. Nice kid. But he's not doing this because he's great at podcasting. No. It's because he's famous. He's a good pickleball player and he has access. He has JW on the show. And this kind of leads into my next part is he was... they were talking a lot of crap about a lot of other pros. Oh I was shocked. And I felt like J-Dub seems like a sincerely nice kid, well-spoken. And James was getting him to say things about who is the worst team on the MLP tour. And I'm like, you don't give people bulletin board material. And J-Dub was just kind of going along with it. And it was interesting.
Do you think in other sports, podcasters talk trash about is there, some NBA star who just talks trash about?
Yeah, I think so to some extent. But I also think it's my next one I had on here is how weird it would be to talk about your peers like that.
Ooh.
But I also don't know.
Let's do that.
Well, because they were ranking them. So that was
let's rank our friends.
That would be epic. It would actually be a lot of fun, but
I should have a draft.
Oh my gosh. That would be hysterical.
And then we could go through all of our friends and talk about their strengths and weaknesses.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't.
I'm onto something.
It would have great, outside of our, pickleball circle, nobody care.
Nobody cares.
But it would be really funny. Unless we, put little pictures and bios up and then interviewed them or talked to them. I mean, that could be, a whole different podcast. Anyways, but I thought it was interesting. And then it just made me think, I wonder how close they are. It'd be really interesting to know, what their relationships are really like. Because maybe they're talking trash about people they sincerely don't like and don't get along with, and they just don't care.
Right.
Which would be weird. But also weird if they do. I mean, some of the people they were, I think, pretty good friends with. I mean, from what it sounded like in one sentence, and then the next one they're talking about how they have no power and they're not that great. It was just really funny.
Yeah. So, people listen to the pros podcast because they do have insider information that is interesting.
And I get that.
But, there's other quality content out there.
Like?
The amateur content.
One More Game by Hoosier Pickleball.
Yeah.
So here is some recent news. And again, this week it was announced, actually Riley Newman went on and said that he and Matt Wright are no longer going to be partners. And Matt Wright doesn't have social, so you didn't really hear his reaction. At least I haven't heard it as of this taping. But kind of interesting, like that partnerships and like whatnot are so out there, right, for everybody to see. And again, I was like relating it to like our local tournament games, and when we play, it's like it'd be funny if I like was announced Abby and I are not playing together for the foreseeable future. She's free game. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I think, who did I hear? Maybe today.
Julian Arnold.
They're playing together.
What Jim Kloss said in his little.
There you go. See, we're up.
Listen, I know some stuff.
We know.
I read all of his analysis, and he decided that Julian Arnold would be his best option. I think that is who he chose.
That's who Riley chose?
Yes.
That'll be interesting because basically, for those that follow it even less than we do, we really do follow. I don't want people not to listen because they think that we have no idea what we're talking about. But Riley and Matt would probably be considered the second best men's doubles team next to the Johns brothers, who are far and away number one. And I did see, I think it was something like, if I have my numbers right, they had played together in 27 tournaments in the time that their partnership was, and they medaled 27 times.
Wow.
Every single time they medaled, but very few gold medals. I don't know what that number was, but Ben and Colin are the ones that...
Yeah, but as more and more people, as more and more people come into pickleball, we're going to have such a bigger pro selection, because if you think about, we just don't have that many pros in this sport.
And so, credit Riley. He wants to, he's like, I'm not satisfied with just being on the podium. I want to win.
Sometimes you just get sick of your partner, too.
Yeah. So I wonder, and Matt Wright, they're both kind of interesting personalities. So I wonder if there was something behind the scenes or what happened.
Yeah, but sometimes as you change, how long have they been partners? 27 tournaments, but how many years is that? Your game should...
Hasn't been long.
Okay, a year. Your game should be in a year different than it is today.
Sure.
Just based on the changing of the sport, your skills, did you develop more of a backhand? So are you wanting to play on one side of the court more than the other? I'm just saying every year you're probably a different player. Sure. So you need a different partner.
Yep, absolutely. Last one I have in our news and views is you had a story you came across that you thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, there's going to be a documentary coming out. California prisons. Now I don't know prison names real well, but two of them in California are called R.J. Donovan and I know San Quentin. They're introducing pickleball to the inmates to introduce getting along and the benefit of exercise and joy and whatever, all the happy stuff that comes along with pickleball. And they're gonna release a documentary soon on that. So
that's really cool.
I am excited to see that.
Yeah, I love that. I love the stories of people in jail, using things. We hear stories all the time, at church and things like that of people who have had life transformations behind bars. And as much as we love pickleball, I think pickleball could be great for that. That's one side of it. The other side of it, the cynical side of me
is somebody going to die?
Yeah, it gets pretty heated sometimes.
Who's getting murdered?
And you get some people who maybe have a little bit of a rough past. There could be some
rage issues.
There's some rage issues. There might be some bludgeoning with paddles at some point.
But you know what? It's a risk you should be willing to take.
Absolutely. The competition.
And we all know exercise. We all know exercise is good for you mentally and physically, and maybe it gets that aggression out.
Yeah.
It settles everybody down. I don't know.
I think we've said this before, but Gizmo is somebody, I don't know if he's mentioned in this.
He's not mentioned in it, so I don't know who it is.
Yeah, it'd be really cool, though. Yeah. At some point, we've said before, we'd love to get him on the podcast. Maybe after this documentary comes out and he's seen it, or maybe he is involved in it. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to get his perspective on it and how it differs from what he's doing as well.
Yeah, so keep your eye out for it. It'll be fun.
Okay, it is called what?
It doesn't have a name yet.
Okay.
It just
Still
says,
early production
It will
stage.
soon be showcased in a documentary, is the info that I have.
Very cool. Maybe our listeners should submit some ideas
Titles?
for names. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. We'll highlight the best ones. So
Okay.
if you have any, put them out there.
Titles for a pickleball prison documentary.
Yeah. Get creative. We could have some fun with that. All right, the last part we were going to do, we mentioned we had our BCS kids camp. That's where our girls go to school. And so it was a great week. It was a long week.
It really was.
But it went fast at the same time. It's one of those weeks that I don't know. I kind of feel like this week seems like it went by fast, but at the same time, it's like, what? That camp was this week?
Yeah.
So it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the afternoons.
Yeah, but we did it for 4 straight hours.
Yes, because this was the first time that we divided it up into little kids, K through 3, and then 4th grade and up.
Yeah.
And it was great. We got great feedback. The kids were great. I really took the time to lesson plan it out and break it down.
Right, you had it out minute by minute, and you had some great activities. You did a really good job.
Well, thank you. It was fun, and I did really appreciate a lot of nice things that parents had said, and kids were excited to come back.
Yeah.
There were a couple kids that had other activities, and so their parents ahead of time had said, we're going to miss Wednesday or something, and it was multiple that came back because they chose that over whatever activity they previously had.
I feel like you need to take a lot of credit for that. So, you did a great job.
I will take a lot of credit.
You should take all of it.
I will not take all of it because that's one of the things I want to say. Yeah. We had some great sponsors and some volunteers, and I want to call everybody out by name.
Let's do it.
First of all, Kevin Reed and Packerland Financial, that he sponsors us each year, helps us provide treats for the kids.
Every
t-shirts.
every kid wins a prize.
Yeah.
Nearly.
And that's one of the coolest things. And that's the other two companies that are huge sponsors for us are Paddle Tech. Paddle Tech sends us 8 paddles to give away.
Nice paddles. Very
nice paddles. And then Pickleball Rocks also gives us a bunch of paddles, wristbands, shirts. And the kids love winning those prizes. And especially those paddles. When I give those away, the kids light
We had a kid crying because he didn't win one. But he won one last year. So we're not going to...
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry to whoever kid that was.
Right, but I'm just saying he doesn't need one every year.
We can't. Yeah.
Other kids need to get a paddle.
We had over 40 kids at the camp, and so we're only giving them roughly to 25% of kids anyway. So, but that was really great. The volunteers, seriously having. So that I had the ability to kind of roam around and look at different things and make sure the next activity was ready to go. That just helped it run so smoothly. So first and foremost, our daughters were very helpful. A lot of them were just shagging balls when they weren't participating in the camp. And then Abby was there. We had some friends. So we had Jill Fosnaw, Brittany Leonard, Mike Quigley. Big shout out to Mike, especially. He's just been awesome for not only pickleball, the camp that we did, but also in Arlington. His house is right behind the courts. And so I don't know if Mike listens to this podcast, but he's been awesome for kind of Hoosier pickleball in general. So Mike was there. Troy Wieland helped out a bunch. Am I missing anybody? I swear I probably am.
Probably.
I'm going to feel horrible when I remember, but
I don't think so.
Okay. All of the helpers were amazing. So big shout out to them. We were also going to talk a little bit about some of the games that we played or things that we did, which we thought were really cool.
Yeah. So in the all of these would be appropriate for kids.
Sure.
So any like gym teacher or pickleball instructor or any sort of person who has to come up with activities for kids, all of these work for kids. Some of these also work for adults.
Yeah.
So if you have a big group with varying levels and you're just out to have fun, some of these would be really fun. We even did a couple of them we did an adult clinic this week as well.
Yeah.
And they really enjoyed it, I think.
Yeah. So one of them, the first one that I was going to say was King of the Court.
King of the Court, yeah.
Because that's kind of the old go-to. Essentially how that works is you're in a team of 2 and you play a regular point, and whoever wins stays on the court. And if you win, when you are, we say when you are the
king,
and you're receiving, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
And then so you're receiving, you stay on the court until somebody knocks you off, and each time you get a point. So you play like 11 or something.
Yeah.
But it can be played almost like cardio wise.
You can play quickly.
Yeah.
It keeps the kids' attention.
Yep.
And it gives everybody the experience as we're teaching pickleball how to play out a point. As we're teaching them serve and stay, return and run. Well, then that's putting it to practice. So.
Right. Yep. So that's a very good one.
Yep.
Another
I think Survivor was the most popular.
Yeah. And that would be a good one, seriously.
It is good for adults.
So on Saturday night, we're kind of having a big get together with a bunch of people in the neighborhood. And I'm thinking this could be a great game.
Yeah, I think they would
to
love
play,
it.
Where it's essentially singles, so you're just kind of hitting back and forth.
Yeah.
Kind of think of it as
like knockout.
Yeah, kind of like knockout, and kind of when we used to play like table tennis, you called it like welts or whatever, where you would like hit a shot and then you run to the other side of the table, or you run to the end of the line.
Oh, remember running to the other side of the court playing tennis? Remember doing that?
Okay, yeah.
But you run behind.
Yeah, so we just have like a line on each side. Now, I did see one that was called Around the World, where you could do the same thing and then you would run to the other line.
That would be tough.
Yeah.
But you could do it.
Speaking of this, like, side note, we have got to do like a cardio pickleball sometime.
I know, I totally agree.
I think that would be
I have tons
awesome.
of ideas for that.
I do too.
I just don't know where to do it.
One more side note on that. We were waiting for our fourth when we were playing today, and so we played, what do you call it? Like, just like
Canadian.
Is that, sorry.
Canadian doubles?
Canadian doubles.
Or cutthroat. I don't know.
Yeah. But where it's like 2-on-1, but we called it cardio cutthroat. And so, like, as soon as the point was over, you could get the ball and serve right away. And so it, like, kept us running and, like, moving.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. So, anyways, that could be another cardio game.
Yeah, that's good.
So, Survivor was great. Did we explain Survivor yet?
Yeah, you just hit it back and forth, but you have to run to the end of your line.
Yeah, and then so when you make a mistake, you get a strike, 3 strikes, and you're out. Or you can do 2 strikes, or first one, you're out. Until there's just 2 people left.
Yeah.
And then when there's 2 people left, you have to hit and spin around.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of a fun one. That's Survivor. Another one we didn't try was called Jailbreak.
Jailbreak.
You kind of did this
I tried
with
it,
some
but
kids.
without the sniper.
Okay. Because there's supposed to be a sniper.
There's supposed to be a sniper.
And we didn't really understand where the sniper was supposed to be
I don't know
at.
who it is.
But the instructions that we saw for it said the sniper fires balls at kids as they run from one side to the other.
And if they get hit, they're back in jail. And I was kind of like, I'm not.
So how do you go to jail?
I'm feeding balls to the line.
Okay.
That kid has to hit the ball over the net and in.
Okay.
If that kid does not, that kid comes onto my side of the court and is in jail.
Okay. And
that
jail
kid,
is just all
my side of the court.
on your side of the court.
Yeah. So then that kid can get out of jail by catching a ball out of the air that I'm still feeding balls, to my line of kids.
Yeah.
Because I did this at a kids camp. And when they caught the ball, then they could go back in line and they were out of jail. So then where the sniper is, I do not know.
They're just staying off
I
at
did
the
not
side.
include a sniper in
Maybe
my.
Yeah, maybe you're supposed to build like a little bunker.
Maybe we
like
should get our
the Orby
pickleball
gun?
tutor.
Oh. yeah, there we go.
Really
And just
fireballs at you.
I'm sure parents would love that if their kids came back with giant welts or a black eye.
The kids loved that.
Yeah.
I don't know that adults would love that, but
no.
This is for
Yeah. They might. You know what? Saturday night, maybe we'll pull that out after everybody's had a beer or two.
Yeah.
Might get crazy.
And then the kids love tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, tic-tac-toe. So we set up, I use hula hoops, so just like a grid of 3x3 hula hoops. Mm-hmm. And this was kind of a learning experience for me because at first I had it just in like the service area and they were serving. It was too hard for the kids to try to place the ball there.
Yeah.
So the second day we played tic-tac-toe. I put the hula hoops like essentially in the kitchen. Like they kind of fit perfectly right in the kitchen, and then it extended beyond just past the kitchen.
I think that's better.
And then had them work on their drops.
Yeah.
Or their dinks kind of.
Then they got to go sit in their...
In the space, in the square.
We played boys against girls.
Yeah. And so it was good.
Yeah,
it was
the
fun.
kids loved it.
The kids had something to aim at. Yeah, we could have played that a lot more.
Yeah.
So it was great.
So really fun games for you guys to file away if you're teaching anybody or just
and if
looking
you have,
for a fun game to play.
And if you have any more, please let us know.
Yeah, we're always looking for some.
I did reach out to some people and found some good stuff on Facebook from suggestions that we had. So if you have more, let us know. All right, that's about going to do it for this episode. We always end with something we love. What do you love?
I'm going to say two things.
Yeah.
I'm going to visit my parents this weekend. I'm going to paint their fireplace. And I love painting things. You know that. I love to paint walls, fireplaces. It's such a fun, like, immediate gratification change. Satisfying. So I'm excited to do that for my parents. And then also, I'm just going to, I really do love showing houses. I like looking at houses. Yeah. I like looking at people's houses. It's really fun.
It's great. I said from the beginning, you're going to do great at real estate for many reasons, and that's one of the many reasons. So I'm glad you're enjoying that.
Most women I know like to look at houses.
Yeah. It's very, I don't get it, but more power to you.
Yeah.
Try selling a few of them.
I would like to.
That'd be great.
I would like to do that.
Let's see, what I love. Okay, so my sister told us about this movie called A Week Away.
On Netflix.
It's on Netflix. And I was like, okay, whatever. But we watched it, and the girls loved it.
They're obsessed.
And
it's so cute.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm going to describe it as High School Musical meets
church.
90s Christian music, basically.
I mean, yeah.
But really mainstream Christian music.
Amy Grant.
Yeah, like I don't think you have to be a Christian to enjoy the movie or to even recognize a lot of the songs. I mean, there's
Stephen
a lot
Curtis
of pretty,
Chapman.
a lot of pretty, whatever songs, mainstream songs that are in it. But it's a cute movie. It's pretty cheesy. But the soundtrack our girls have been listening to nonstop. We played it a lot at the pickleball camp as well.
All day today.
And all day today with the girls. So congratulations. Yeah, I did hear them singing, some of them. They even put on a little show for us tonight before we did the pod.
To be fair, those songs were my junior high and high school.
Yeah.
So I could also sing them really loud in the car. So I don't hate them.
But a lot of them are like new renditions of them too. Right. And they're well done.
But the kids are like, how do you know these songs?
Yeah. So
like,
check
these
out
30-year-old songs.
A Week Away. And if you're an Office fan as well, Todd Packer is
so interesting.
Is a main character in it, which just really throws me off. It's of my worlds crashing together and confuses me. But it is a good movie, good soundtrack, a lot of fun. So, all right, that's going to do it. We're going to go to bed. Whatever you're doing, hope it's great. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Hoosier Pickleball, Indiana Physical Therapy, and Pickleball Rocks. In addition, a big thank you to our production company, Coraggio Media, and the 95.7 WELT studio in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or find us on YouTube at One More Game Pod. That's the number 1 More Game Pod. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating to help us spread the word. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok at Hoosier Pickleball for all kinds of fun, tips, tricks, and other family nonsense, and also some great discussion. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.